So we're about to talk about this very sick man right here. Evidently, he was incarcerated. While he was incarcerated, he found him a boyfriend. He already had a boyfriend on the outside. He met both of the boyfriends at a hotel after he got out. However, one of the guys didn't want anything to do with him. Matter of fact, one of the guys started having a relationship with a female. He did not like that whatsoever. Evidently, he had both of the boyfriends that day in 2 separate rooms in this particular hotel. He already killed one of the boyfriends, and a little later that evening, when the second boyfriend checked into the hotel, the second boyfriend told him, "I want nothing to do with you. I have a girlfriend." He took out a machete and commenced to killing that boyfriend. Let's roll this clip.
I stand in this court today taking full responsibility for what I did.
Theodore Luckey was unlucky in love, he told the court. They were cellmates in prison and became lovers. But when Nathan Cashman got out, he wanted to end their relationship despite gifts and cash over the years. Luckey was enraged. Prosecutors laid out the evidence in excruciating detail.
In that footage, the defendant can be seen repeatedly striking, stabbing, even sawing at Mr. Cashman with the machete as he was trapped on the ground in that small area behind the desk.
The state says the first victim was also a former lover who traveled to New Hampshire from New Jersey with Luckey. The 60-year-old grandfather, David Hanford, was found tied to a hotel bed inside the Country Inn and Suites. He'd been strangled.
He described convincing Mr. Hanford to let the defendant tie him to the bed, again under the guise that they would be having sex. He described using the shoestring, tape, and electrical cords from around the room.
Cashman's family stood up one after another to give victim impact statements. But it was his 83-year-old grandmother who looked the killer in his eyes and told him off.
Who do you think you are? When it says on their death certificate, multiple machete wounds is why they died. That is a very cruel man who does it. Why you think you have the right to do this to somebody is beyond me.
The Cashman family broke into applause when Judge Delker sentenced Theodore Luckey to life without parole. Theodore Luckey blew the family a kiss as he was led out of the courtroom. We're live at Superior Court in Manchester this evening. Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
I'm like, Junior, what? He said, I done killed them, and my heart dropped. I said, what are you talking about? Where are you? He said that he cut him up with a machete.
Guests at the Country Inn and Suites in Bedford, New Hampshire are settling down for a quiet evening indoors when the peace is suddenly shattered. As investigators gather the facts, they're unaware of another utterly harrowing secret hidden inside one of the hotel rooms. The following report is based on police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. Please note that while the following CCTV footage is intense, it does not show anyone being physically harmed or injured. Shortly after 4:30 on August 21, 2021, 2 men check into the hotel. The one on the left is 28-year-old Nathan Cashman, and the other is 42-year-old Theodore Luckey. While nothing seems amiss at first glance, one of these men harbors murderous thoughts about to be unleashed.
And I mean, from the time I seen this guy, I don't know, I just had a bad feeling about him. Creepy.
Minutes after this encounter, a witness in room 312 hears hair-raising cries from the hallway on the 3rd floor.
It sounded like a man screaming at the top of his voice, help me, and several times, 3 or 4 times. And then I heard somebody, it sounded like footsteps following him, behind him. And then I heard silence, but I heard like banging, like somebody was hitting the walls in the hallway a couple times. Then it was silent.
And this is all things that you heard?
I heard, yes.
Did you see anything?
No, I was not going to open the door.
Okay.
Although most witnesses stayed inside their rooms to avoid the danger, the hotel security camera captured the unfolding violence. A witness staying in room 218 notices 2 men at the end of the hallway engaged in an altercation.
And when I got off the elevator, there was 2 men at the end of the hallway, one of which was beating one man with the hose of a fire extinguisher. And when they heard the elevator ding, they turned, and one guy was screaming, "Get the police." and the other guy started moving toward me that was beating
Jesus
him. So I
Christ.
ran to my room as quick as I could and got in with my key.
Some
And then
horror
I called
movie
the main
type
desk
stuff.
about 8 or 9 times and couldn't get through. And then about
Oh my God.
10 minutes later, I had police knocking on my door.
Photographs taken of the crime scene show glimpses of this encounter near the second-floor window as guests struggle to avoid the bedlam. One of the witnesses describes a desperate decision Nathan was forced to take in a panicked attempt to save himself.
And when I came out, I look up. I said, oh, man, this dude jumped out the window trying to save his life. You know what I'm saying? There's blood all over the window. The frame of the window's on the ground right there. And then that's when the other maintenance guy that's here was sitting in his car. I went over and told him, I said, man, did you see that? He said, no, I didn't see nothing. I was down on my phone. I said, man, look, dude just jumped out the window. 2 minutes later, at least 2 minutes later, there's a white guy running around the corner, and then all of a sudden, the guy came behind him with the black guy with the red hair had a machete in his hand. And he whacked him in the back of his head right before he went in and put like another gash of many gashes that this guy already had on him. So he goes in, and I'm like, oh, man.
As Theodore chases Nathan back inside the hotel, another eyewitness recounts what he observed inside the lobby as the assault nears its gruesome conclusion.
The 2 people came blasting in through the door, and the one in the front, the other guy was chasing, was saying, please help, please help. I saw the guy hit him once, and then we just got out of there. That was the last thing we saw.
Security camera footage further underscores Nathan's desperate struggle to escape the malicious assault as witnesses look on in horror. As Theodore continues his relentless attack against Nathan, the front desk clerk inexplicably puts himself in grave danger while he's on the phone with a 911 operator. While it may seem that this situation is coming to an end, Theodore is just getting started, and another horrifying discovery remains to be uncovered behind the closed doors of this hotel. This horrifying attack in the lobby lasted almost 4 minutes, but it'll take investigators much longer to uncover the reasons behind such a cruel assault. 12 minutes later, the medical team arrives to check on Nathan. Paramedics note a deep laceration across Nathan's neck, suggesting that his throat had been slit, and declare his death. Unsurprisingly, a medical examiner will later note in the autopsy report that Nathan died from multiple chop wounds of the head, neck, and body. As Theodore flees the crime scene, officers are unaware that they're about to receive a lead from an unlikely location over 250 miles away.
What's going on? My wife just got a call from her son. Okay.
He said from
He
her
just
son.
killed somebody in New Hampshire. Okay, he just got out of prison, apparently, and it's been back and forth down here. She come home, she's all upset. I'm watching the game, and my cousin, she blew my high. She tells me, Junior just killed someone.
Oh my God.
Where the hell was Junior at? He's in New Hampshire. I talked to him on the phone. Sure it was him? I'm positive it was him, okay? And he's telling me, Dad, I understand, and I'm talking to him, telling him what not to do. Hey, I understand what's going on. He'll get killed tonight, okay? Because they're looking for him.
More officers from the Asbury Park Police Department in New Jersey arrive on the scene, and Theodore's mother, Vivian Brown, relays vital information.
I got a phone call from my son. He was hysterical. He was cussing, and my son don't cuss around me. He's like, Mom, you was f***ing right. You was f***ing right. I'm like, Junior, what? He said, I done killed the mother. And my heart dropped. I said, what are you talking about? Where are you? He said that he cut him up with a machete at some hotel or somewhere. And I was like, where are you? Where are you? He said, I'm in New Hampshire. I don't know where I'm at. I said, well, whose car are you driving? I don't know. Mom, I'm lost. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you. I just tell you that I love you. I'm saying goodbye to you. I'm going away for the rest of my life. I don't give a damn. He's dead. I'm covered in blood. I don't know.
Wow.
As New Jersey officers dispatch this information to the New Hampshire State Police, Vivian shares more about Theodore.
He just got out of prison Mother's Day weekend, May the 7th.
Has he ever acted out like this before?
That's why he was in prison the last time.
According to online reports, Theodore was convicted of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old minor in 2004. And in 2012, he pled guilty to 2 counts of kidnapping and served a portion of his sentence.
Theodore got some issues. He's a sick man. He needs some help.
In the Northern New Hampshire Correctional Facility, where he met Nathan.
Do you know anyone by a Nate or a Nathan?
He just got out of prison, too.
Okay.
Evidently, they were lovers in prison.
Shocked by what their son has just admitted to doing, Vivian has reached her emotional limit with Theodore.
I understand.
I'm not.
Honey, as long as he's alive, I will look after him. Okay?
When he took that boy's life, he should have took his right along with it. That's the way I feel about it. You don't go around here killing nobody. I don't care what they do to you. You don't take nobody's life.
I understand that.
You don't do that.
I just don't want him to die for being stupid.
He took someone's life. I don't want to hear that. He should have took his life right along with it. If he wanted to take somebody's life, he should have took it.
Theodore's parents and the officers don't know yet that this is only a part of the crime he committed that day. Soon, a call comes in that changes the entire dynamic of the situation inside the apartment.
Hello? He's open. He's getting ready to walk in. Junior?
He got issues.
Why, baby? Why?
I love you, Mom.
I love you too. Where you at? What police station you at?
What police station is this? Bedford. Yeah. I took somebody's life, Mom. I did it.
As Theodore speaks with his parents, one of the officers makes an alarming observation.
He's on the phone. I don't think he's in custody yet.
Junior, whose phone are you on?
My phone.
You are in handcuffs?
No, I'm at the police station. A fireman just walked out.
Thankfully, Theodore is taken into custody without further incident.
Thank
As detectives escort him into an interrogation room and read him his Miranda rights, they will soon confront him about yet another bone-chilling discovery made at the hotel.
Nathan was my boyfriend.
Okay. All right. How long have you guys been dating?
Over 3 years.
Okay.
He's definitely gone. You tell me that. You get that information from me, and I'll tell you anything you want to know.
I'm telling you the information that I have is that he is deceased. What happened tonight that kind of caused this?
I was hurt.
Yeah.
And he got out of prison a few weeks ago.
Theodore claims that he drove from New Jersey that morning to see Nathan and arrived at the hotel around noon.
We'd like to know what the interaction was in the hotel room.
Yeah, we started arguing about him yelling at me.
While Theodore shares about the incident, officials also know there's more to his story as they explore the timeline of events.
I guess you said, did stuff happen in the hallway, or was it down into the lobby? Or could you help us understand where things kind of happened?
It happened in the lobby and in the hallway and along the hotel.
And when you say happened, are you stabbing, or is it more of like a hitting, or how would you describe it?
Hitting.
Hitting? Like coming from up down?
Yep.
And where were you hitting him?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Crime scene photographs show the bloody machete Theodore used in the slaughter. But shockingly, Nathan was not the only victim that day. While officers were interviewing witnesses at the hotel, they discovered shocking security footage showing Theodore checking into the hotel earlier that day with 60-year-old David Hanford. But David didn't know that he was walking into a nightmare.
What would really help us is there another person? Who's this other person?
Later reports state that David is Theodore's ex-boyfriend and has known him for decades. Theodore later claimed that David believed they were at the hotel for a romantic weekend and knew nothing about his plans for Nathan.
Who's the other gentleman that you were asking about? Is he...
Dave.
Dave? Okay. Where was Dave?
In the room.
So Dave was also in the room?
In another room.
Oh, okay. Did he come up with you from New Jersey? Okay.
As officers started clearing the crime scene, they received information that there may be a second victim. As they cleared the hotel's third floor, they knocked and received no response from one of the rooms.
Here we go.
Upon opening the door, officers found David completely incapacitated.
So you're in the hotel with Dave, and he is, how is he, he's bound to like the bed or tied to the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he do that sort of voluntarily, or was that something that you decided to do?
David, well, more so him, he likes the whole SM and bondage type thing.
Wow.
They found David covered in a hotel blanket with a belt wrapped around his neck and clear tape covering his nose and mouth. It appeared he'd been dead for some time. While it's still unknown what prompted Theodore to commit this horrifying act, the eventual answer is something none of the detectives anticipated.
I told Dave that I was hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. I told Dave I didn't want to hurt him. I wish that I could leave you.
Guy is mentally ill, man. Mentally ill. Poor thing. He need help.
Because I told you everything you might get. You're telling me what I said. Well, things go south. I knew what I was going to do.
You didn't want him to get out.
No.
You mentioned you didn't want him to say what you had said about Nathan.
Yep.
Theodore claims that he kept David inside the room and eventually suffocated him to death because David knew about his plans. He feared that David might have escaped and warned Nathan about the impending attack. But to understand what motivated Theodore to attack Nathan, detectives must explore their relationship. 2 weeks prior to the events at the hotel, Theodore and his friends drove up to visit Nathan and noticed something odd about him.
But then I came outside and I was talking to him and I noticed that there was a hickey on his neck.
A week later, when Nathan calls off their relationship, things spiral out of control.
And he said that he was breaking up. I said, why? That's when he told me he had slept with some girl. Less than 2 weeks ago, you were telling me that you want to be with me, you want to marry me, and now you're moving in with your ex-girlfriend. He told me that he wanted to see me. Of course, I wanted to see him.
Was that the plan today, just to meet up and to talk, or was...
Yeah. We laid in the bed together. He told me that it felt weird, because in his head, he'd say he felt like he was cheating on his ex-girlfriend.
Minutes after this statement, the attack begins.
I wanted to hurt him. I wanted him to feel the pain that I felt.
Theodore's rage and feelings of betrayal led to the murders of Nathan and David. On November 7th, 2022, Theodore pled guilty to 2 counts of murder in the first degree.
Good.
He received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Good.
He's currently incarcerated at the New Hampshire State Prison.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.